Hey, good afternoon and welcome to today's session, Best Strategies to Increase Your Sales and Commission During AEP. I am Steve Teschendorf and I'll be your event facilitator today. A few housekeeping items before we get started. To the right of the screen, there is a chat, polling, and Q&A section. There will not be any polling in today's session, but please type your questions in the designated area. All questions will be answered verbally at the end of the presentation. A copy of the presentation and handouts will be loaded into the chat section at the end of the session. The presentation handouts will be available for viewing 30 days after the session by logging into the event platform. I also want to thank Insurance Advisors Direct for their sponsorship of this session. Please make sure to stop by their booth in the expo hall. Now, to kick off this presentation, I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Jason McClellan, President, CEO at Insurance Advisors Direct.
All right, thank you, Steve. Appreciate it, and thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. Hope you've had an opportunity to view some great sessions today, learn a lot that can help benefit your sales practices and no doubt your Medicare season that's upon us very shortly here. As Steve had mentioned, we are one of the sponsors. We also have a booth, Insurance Advisors Direct. If you'd like to stop by, we have some additional forms that can be downloaded. You can live chat, live Zoom with some of our sales persons that are manning that booth, and we'd love to talk with you. If you have additional questions after today's session and we just don't get to those questions, please stop by or please contact us at the number below. We'd be happy to answer those questions and help you out. Again, as Steve mentioned, my name is Jason McClellan. Real briefly, Insurance Advisors Direct is a full-service FMO. What that means for you is we help you not only with products, carriers that are important to your practice for your clients, but with all of the training, support, marketing, lead generation, that you need to be successful in whatever product line that you might be looking to work in. Maybe it's something you're currently doing or a product line you're looking to add to your practice. We certainly welcome the opportunity to talk with you further about the services support and even talk to you about our new Agent Perks program that you could become part of. So definitely look forward to those conversations. And again, before we get into today's session, because I understand that some of the material here you might question, maybe it's a little unfamiliar, maybe it's something you didn't think was possible. So before we get into it, I don't want to get anyone upset. The most important thing is with any of the tips, practices that we talk about, we want to make sure that you're presenting those solutions legally, ethically, and within the CMS scope of appointment when you're presenting Medicare Advantage products. That's very important. We need to stick with that. So again, just a friendly reminder, anything we talk about today, again, if it seems like something you can or cannot do, please talk to us about that. We'll educate you a little bit better on what those practices, what are allowed, what may not be allowed. All right. Well, with that, let's get into today's presentation. Today, my goal is to give all of you at least a tip or two that you can walk away with, incorporate into your sales practice to help you to generate more sales, to help you become a better agent. And these are things that we do with agents all over the country. Myself, I started in the Medicare industry 23 years ago as a licensed agent. I've been working within the senior space, both life and health products ever since then. And many of those years have been traveling the country, working with independent agents and agencies and other marketing companies, training them, working with them, hearing what works for them, seeing what doesn't work, trying out new techniques. So everything we're going to talk about today, it may sound different. Maybe it sounds unique, or you say, hey, these guys don't know what they're talking about. I promise you these practices, these are things that are working for agents. These are things I've personally done that have been successful for me, for agents who have worked with me, for other agents and agencies around the country. So these are proven techniques. So if it seems a little different, well, maybe it's time to try something new. Maybe it's time to try something a little bit different and see how that might help your sales practice. But like anything, some of these techniques, maybe they work for one agent, one part of the country. Maybe they don't exactly work for you or with your selling style. That's okay. And we'd love to talk with you further about how we can help maybe incorporate some new ways of approaching your clients to do things differently and to be more successful and to increase your sales and income in this industry. So today, again, with our goal to just get you some ideas, some things new that you could talk about, here we hope you walk away with at least an idea that helps you generate more sales, be better prepared for this AEP and beyond into OEP throughout 2021. And we hope that obviously it helps propel you well past that. We want to show you ways to offer better coverage to your clients because that's what's important. It's not about policies, it's about coverage, it's about protection and what you do for them. We want to see you make a better living, earn more commissions. In addition to that, it's important to keep a client for life and to utilize those clients to be centers of influence for you and for your business so that you can earn referrals. And of course, if you do all those things right, what's ultimately going to happen is you're going to lower your acquisition costs and lower your marketing expenses, which means your overhead's less, which again means that you put more dollars in your pocket that you can utilize for other things. Maybe it's for other client events or things of those natures. But again, we're going to show you some of the ways to best do that. So let's get into some of the 4 ways that we're going to talk to you about this. And we've actually got a bonus. So if you stick around to the end, we'll go through each of these 4 ways, but we're going to give you a bonus and make it really, really simple. If some of these other methods don't make sense to you, that's okay. We'll give you one question to walk away with and something you can incorporate into your sales this afternoon or tomorrow, depending on when you're going out next. So again, 4 key strategies. First, Medicare supplement maintenance, just sounded good together. Package selling, we're going to talk about cross-selling. Create a client instead of a customer. That's a huge thing. And when we talk to agents, we discover that that is a big problem for a lot of agents in the industry. And then again, we're going to get into that bonus. So we hope some of these give you some great ideas to incorporate into your sales practice. So let's get into the first one. Now, I do apologize. We're going to spend a little bit of time on each of these, but we cannot take too deep a dive into each one. We might have to skim the surface a little bit, but we want to at least plant the seed. If you want to learn more, if you want to take a deeper dive, we can do that on a one-on-one basis. We have a whole host of other training events on our YouTube channel. We put on other virtual events like this, live events when we're outside of COVID. And we would be happy to put you in touch with some of those additional training modules to take that deeper dive. So I do apologize if we move a little bit quick, but we have some hard stops here upon us. So Medicare maintenance, what does that mean? How can you utilize this to your client's advantage and then to your advantage? Well, let's think about this. If you sell Medicare supplements, that's great. Let's say you've been doing that for a while. So again, this example, this way of maintaining your Medicare clients, you're going to have some clients to maintenance. But let's go into what this means, how this works, and how it benefits everyone involved. So if we go back and we take an example, Plan F, Medicare supplement with somebody who's turning 65. Let's say the average premium was around $144. So I ran some quotes on some older cases, Plan F. That's about where you would be in the Metro Detroit area for a Medicare supplement. So if you're outside of Metro Detroit or you're in a different state, you may just want to look at what some of your average numbers are. Now, we know agents that will go in, they will put in a Medicare supplement, they will move on, and they will never talk again to those clients. Now, Medicare supplements are great because they're fairly easy. There's fairly little to no out-of-pocket expense other than the premium for your clients, so you may never get a call. And that's okay. That's great. They're working. But what that has done is it puts you in the wrong position or light with those customers. And what it has done is it's put your clients in a position where they're going to kind of be blown about with the wind, depending on the rate increases. Now, some carriers take high rate increases, some take moderate to low increases, and each year is a little bit different as they look at their claims loss ratio, as they file those with the state. So just looking at some average numbers, here's what's going to happen. Your Medicare supplement client comes in at $144 and they sit there. And each year that they sit there, you now see a rate increase come in. Now, maybe you don't do anything with those notices. You throw them in the garbage. Your client does the same. Oh, it went up $10. Okay, I can afford that. But what happens over time is those rate increases start to add up. So let's go out 7 years. You let that client sit on that plan F, and 7 years later, they now, with a moderate rate increase of around 8%, they're sitting at now a $224, almost $225 a month premium. Okay, so it's getting up there. Now, it's not maybe unaffordable to those clients, and they're happy. It's been paying claims. It's been doing its job. So they just want to sit tight and keep paying that premium. Well, consider what you could do for them. If you were maintaining that, and if you were communicating with those customers, turning them into clients, and you went in with another plan. Hey, it's time to sit down. Let's reevaluate. Now, health may be a factor, but in many cases, we see clients that, especially in their early 70s, are still fairly healthy. So let's say if you were to move them 7 years later. So today you decided we're going to move. If you look up Plan Fs at age 72 in this area, you're going to be at $162 a month. A Plan G, that's more popular these days, that's going to be at $130 a month. Then Plan N is going to bring you all the way down to $108. So depending on which plans you like to use, which ones make the most sense for your clients, I wanted to give you a full range here. Look at the savings. Just by sitting down with your clients, discussing their needs, their budget, and discussing these new alternatives, just 7 years later, you were able to, with a Plan F, save them $751 a year, $1,100 with a G, and almost $1,400 with a Plan N. Now, could you imagine going to your clients and saying, hey, would you like me to save you $1,000 a year in premium and give you the exact same benefits? I think they would be pretty impressed and pretty happy with that, right? Money that could be used for other coverage, other things that they may have a need for, okay? So it's pretty incredible when you start to look at what rate increases can do and what you can do by maintaining these Medicare supplement clients. Now let's look at, beyond the client, let's now look at what that does for you and for your business. Okay, so let's expand. Let's say we have 100 Medicare supplement clients that have been aging and now fall into this 7+ year scenario that we just presented. Now, I know agents that have a lot more than that. They come to us all the time and they're like, Jason, I've got like 400 clients that are moving into like years 8, 9, and haven't talked to them. That's tough. You know, it's going to be tough to maybe get back in touch with those individuals, but there's ways you can do that. But let's say you're sitting there on 100 Medicare supplement clients. They've gone past year 7. Now in Michigan, you'll know that we have a 3-year levelized on most of our Medicare supplement policies. In the year 4, it drops down. Then there are some policies that stop paying after a few years. Maybe they go into a maintenance mode. So literally you, by doing nothing, not only are your clients paying more premium, but you now have moved into the realm of making a very small renewal compensation, anywhere from 0 to maybe around $6,000 a year for 100 policies. Okay, now let's say you were to use the strategy that we just talked about. Sit in front of those persons, tell them you can save them some money, put them into similar or same benefits. Look at what your new commission. I know in a perfect world that there's going to be a mixture of these plans. There's going to be a mixture of people that you can't move. But let's just say that you're a great agent and you really get in there and you move everyone. So if you moved all 100 policies over to a new Medicare supplement, you can see the numbers there. Plan F, 52,000, Plan G, 42,000, Plan N, 34,000. Those are real dollars that you're missing out on if you're not taking advantage of this opportunity to sit down with your clients and do a better job for them. So here you can see, question to you now, just like to your clients, would you like to save $1,000 a year? How'd you like to earn an extra $30,000 a year plus? Well, here's the scenario, a very simple one that benefits your client, benefits you, and puts you in a better light with your client because now you've done a better job for them. So it just makes sense to do that. And it's a very simple process. But again, I talk to agents every day that forget about this. They put them on a plan, they move on, they go find new clients, and they get busy constantly acquiring and writing new business and forget to go back and maintenance their previous policies. So again, something that you definitely want to start incorporating in your practice. Let's go on to number 2, package selling. Okay, now package selling. I get a lot of pushback on this because agents start to get confused. They start to get concerned that either there's too much information or there's too many things going on and it's confusing their clients. First off, you have to make it solution-based. You have to make it solution-based in order for it to make sense. And there's easy ways to do that. There's forms that can do that. There's simplified presentation processes that can make this make sense. Here are some pieces we create for agents that help show them how to better package sell and to let that do the work for them to make it easy, make it easier to explain, to present between the client profile sheets and the package selling sheets here that you're looking at. Think about it. How hard is it? Are we making this up or is it reality? Again, we hear from a lot of agents, well, it's just too difficult, too confusing to explain too many programs. It is. But think about an insurance policy. How many benefits do you have within an insurance contract? You see, you don't have just one benefit. It doesn't just pay for a primary care physician, does it? No, there's a multitude of benefits. So when you present those, you present them as a package, right? As a solution. So when we talk about package selling, whether it's adding in some hospital indemnity with a Medicare Advantage or a dental vision with a Medicare supplement, as you present that, if you present that as part of the package of benefits, see, it's not confusing for your clients. It makes sense to them. You're providing them a solution, you're explaining to them what it covers, and you're letting them choose whether that solution makes sense to them. How hard really is that? And that's how we've built this program. And again, a program I personally used, program I've seen other agents around the country using, so that you're presenting solutions to their needs within a budget that they can afford, and that makes sense to them. You don't have to worry about explaining to them which policies are coming from where, which carriers. You may get to that, but not during the presentation phase, not during the education phase. Okay. And these are some of the forms. And again, I apologize. We can't dive too deeply into how to work within these forms, how they're structured. Those we do in other trainings. We'd be happy to sit down with you. But again, some of the resources we make available to agents to make you better at what you're doing and to be equipped to do it properly. Okay. So let's move into our next part, cross-selling, best practices. Again, now I just used an example here within the Medicare supplement framework and long-term care, short-term care. And actually, those were two of the primary products I sold when I got into this industry. So it's probably well within my comfort zone. But what we have done is created very simple, easy to use presentation material that breaks it down, summarizes it for you and your clients. You can very easily explain what their Medicare benefits are. But let's say you want to lay some groundwork for another program. Let's say you don't want to do it all at the same time, especially with these types of products. Long-term care can be very confusing, but you want to plant that seed. You want to have that follow-up discussion with those clients. Well, that's great. Using materials as you educate them on their Medicare benefits, what they get, what they don't get, what they might be missing, what coverage gaps they might have. We know that there are tremendous coverage gaps when it comes to long-term care. If you've ever cared for someone or known someone who has had to have long-term care, it's very costly. So as you're explaining what gaps they have, you're educating them. You're not selling them. In many cases, by the time you get done helping them with their Medicare supplement coverage, they're asking you a second question. When are you going to come back and show me how I can take care of those other costs? You see, that is setting yourself up, transitioning for a cross-sell down the road for that next visit. You can schedule the next visit then. You can schedule it upon policy delivery if you still do that. You can do it within your time frame, your client's time frame, but now you've planted the seed, and now you get a chance to go back and show them what their needs are, what solutions exist, and now they've been prepared. So such an easy way to set yourself up for that future business. All right, let's move into our fourth strategy. So again, I understand that we're moving pretty fast here just to keep on pace, and we'd like to get to a few questions at the end. But here is a very important one to talk about. Create a client and not just a customer. What's the difference? Well, if you see there at the bottom, we'll look at a light definition here. A customer is a one-time transaction where a client is someone that you can do repeat business with. So if you look at your client list, which ones do you see showing up? Do you have a lot of customers or do you have a lot of clients? That's an important question because customers don't help build your practice very quickly. Now, a client can. A client means a number of things. And again, moving into that next part, we can see the true problem with having a only customers. You see here, customers, there's no real relationship. There's no referrals. There's no ongoing engagement. There's no future business or sales that come from that. It's a one-time transaction. Hey, yeah, he did a nice job. She did a nice job. She put me in this Medicare supplement product. Never heard from him again. And again, that happens all the time. I talk to agents every day that tell me how many clients they have, or sorry, customers they have, but yet they only do one product line. That's what they feel comfortable with. But years into their practice, they're still looking for more lead sources. They're still looking for better ways to market themselves. They might have been in this business 15, 20 years. See, that's a problem. That's a mistake. They caused that to happen. These individuals did not check a box that said, I only want to be your customer. That professional, that agent, chose to not do their proper job and to not follow up, to not be available to those people, to not be a resource to those people, and they very quickly became a customer and not a client. See, remember, this feeds a lot of different things. This feeds your marketing costs, your lead costs. We talked about referrals. You see, people don't refer someone that they are just a customer for. That's just not something that happens. But if they're your client, they know you, they see you, they hear from you, they're going to tell their circle of friends and family about you. And that's where those referrals come from. So we want to be able to strike this no and get rid of that and transition them from that one category of a customer over into a client to solve a lot of these problems. Now, think about it this way. I've myself recently went to purchase something, some goods that a service I'd used before. The company did a great job. Never heard from them since. It's been 3, 4 years. I was looking for their contact information. They've never sent me a letter. They've never sent me something to say, hey, it's time for us to revisit that. So that's a problem. I went somewhere else because I didn't know who to go back to. I didn't know how to contact them. So let's move into the next part, how we can do a better job creating a client and not just a customer. Here are some of the things we help agents with: letters, postcards, maybe having a website, using a client profile sheet like we talked about earlier, so you have a better understanding of your client, what their needs are, what their questions are, what their future concerns are, what their budget is. You see, that helps you to keep in touch with them. Maybe we set up a company Facebook page that we connect with them on, and we post updates occasionally, and maybe we post family pictures so they can see we're a real person and that they want to do business with. Maybe we set up occasional Zoom meetings on a group. Maybe we do an educational course and you invite all your clients to that. Maybe you do an annual review with them to sit down and discuss coverage. Maybe you pick up the phone call and say hello once in a while. I know that sounds crazy, sounds like a lot of work, but maybe you should pick up the phone and remind them that you're still their agent. If you have their contact information, you obviously took an application, you should have text message, email. So think about it just from these few things, and we could go on and on about other ways to stay in touch, stay connected. But even if we just did each of these one time a year, you can see we'd be touching them 8 different times. So now when their friends talk about insurance and they think about looking at new insurance options, who do they think to call? Well, no doubt they would think to call their agent because they're your client, not just your customer. So again, some very important tips to keep in mind. That one last bonus question, I'm going to wrap up because we're within just a few minutes of our time. If you can't do any of this that we just talked about, it's too complicated, it's too hard, it's not part of my selling style, that's okay. Please do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do your clients a favor. Just incorporate 2 simple questions. If you're selling a Medicare supplement, ask them if they'd like to have some dental vision benefits or coverage that's not covered by Medicare. If they're doing Medicare Advantage, would you like to protect yourself from the out-of-pocket expenses and see an option? You can word it however you want, but when you get done, don't incorporate it in. Just wait till the very end. Transaction is complete. Just ask them that question. I promise you, you will increase your sales. There will be people that say, yes, I'm interested. Well, now you have to do a little more work, but that's okay. That's what you get paid to do. And now you get to show them other solutions that can make sense to not only just you, but to them. And that's the other thing is our clients don't care if we like these products, but if it's a concern to them, if it's a need and they're asking you for it, it's our job to go find the right solution for them. So again, that is our bonus questions. And there are some free gifts that we want to give to some of those who are in attendance here. Our A and B charts, our client profile sheet, some of the things we showed and talked about. And again, if you have more questions and you'd like to engage with some of our sales team, get additional training, get more of the materials we talked about, please contact us. Here's our phone number. Here's our website. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have the opportunity to work with you and earn your business. I think we have a couple minutes for questions, Steve.
Yes, we do. At this time, Jason, there's no online questions.
Okay.
So if you got another minute, if you want to hammer home anything.
Good.
Or we can close it.
Well, it looks like, okay, still no questions. That's okay. If you have questions, we have about 1 minute. I hope I was really able to give everyone just an idea. Hopefully I was able to give you more than just one that you can take to your sales practice. But I hope that you heard just at least one thing that you can utilize that's easy enough that you feel comfortable to put that into your selling practice to, again, not only just benefit you and your practice, but to do a better job for your agents or for your clients. And we want those to become clients and not just stay customers. So again, I think that's it for me. I appreciate everyone's attendance and certainly look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Thank you, Jason. So that'll conclude the presentation. A couple reminders. that you can download the copy of the presentation and handouts by accessing them on the chat bar on the right-hand side of the screen. And don't forget to visit the expo and enjoy the rest of the event. We appreciate your time. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everyone.